let me quickly bring to you some very short visual of what happened in Talensi. You know what went on there in the course of this week. Let's see it, some violence. After that, we'll hear the Interior Minister, Woyongo, say that violence begets violence. Some say that's a statement of fact, which he's being criticized for unduly. We are presently looking at the footage of the military, stepping in to try and stop the violence that occurred. We are looking at a vehicle, a four-wheel drive that appears
in front of the MPP office.
Gabi was there, so
that's my vehicle. That's my vehicle.
That's your vehicle. No, the one that's been vandalized. That's not yours.
No,
okay, but the one that's been vandalized is supposed to belong to the district chief executive.
No, there's one for the regional chairman of the MPP.
No. All right. There was no jam.
Oh,
it was the district chief executive.
If you had just kept quiet.
And then the deputy national organizer of the NGC.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And so you see a police armored vehicle that is sitting there. And then the police trying to check the situation, and
this is the DC's.
The army is there. So this is a DC's vehicle that's been vandalized. The glasses, screens are all smashed, and the tires also deflated. Okay, so let's move on. Let's hear Woyongo, the Interior Minister, what he had to say about the violence there, as far as the Azoka boys. And also another group called what?
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, said to belong to the MPP, and the invisible forces are concerned. Let's hear Woyongo and come and talk about violence begets violence.
That there were a few isolated clashes, and it's across the political divide. It wasn't just on one political divide. MPP, people were attacked. NDC, people were also attacked. So it cuts across the political divide. No. I met Azoka in one of the polling stations. I just greeted him and I walked past. I didn't have any chat, conversation whatsoever with him. I'm not the man who would want to foment trouble, because I know this election is not a matter of do and die. And I know also the leaders are chosen by God. And all along, we have been advising our supporters to remain calm. Violence begets violence.
What does that mean?
Will not mete out violence if they are not provoked.
No, Honorable, what does that mean?
Also brought in some people, and the invisible officer, what they call them, forces, invisible forces, and then the Bulldogs. So violence begets
Honorable,
violence. What I mean is that if you are a peace lover and somebody comes to attack you, definitely have to protect yourself. You definitely have to protect yourself. That's what I mean. Violence begets violence. But that is not to say we are just going to look on unconcerned. Yes, I mean, if the police are not immediately available and somebody is attacking you, won't you defend yourself? No, you just be realistic. If you are walking on the street and somebody comes and is attacking you, won't you defend yourself?
All right, so that's the Minister for the Interior, and he's also suggested that the Azoka boys and those other people, the invisible forces and so on, there will be a consideration to regularize them as security agencies. Some people are awed at those comments coming from the Minister. We'll be right back to deal with what he has to say. Right, you're welcome back, and just a few of your comments, and then we'll move on to these other matters. This one, you didn't identify yourself. You say, my problem is everybody in the case of the drill ship have taken sides and not looking at the specifics of the case. Nanado should have been invited to take the side of to tell the side of his story, that's what you mean, rather than taking an assumption as to what he will have to say. As Amalaba is presenting it, why didn't they assume for everyone, but rather invited some people? This one is from Cecil Zampa. He says, you know that law is not only book principles, but commonsensical reasonableness. So, for 40 years, one can't say GH20. We must not wait for Lord Denning before we make sense of the judgment. William Cecil, okay, depending on how you understood it. The state has been made poorer with the establishment of this Judgment Debt Commission. The commission talks about prompt payment. When the then president ensures that prompt payment is, is being made, we are questioning it. Oh, what a commission. Joe Agape, this one says, is it that the same lawyer, upon saying we should be careful about the decisions of the executive? Wow. The same man is in court challenging the action of President Mahama of appointing some judges to the Supreme Court. What a double standard by divine intima. Well, the Ghana Bar Association is in court, so you are a member of the Ghana Bar Association.
It's not even about.
So Abaliba is part of it.
It's not about. Yes,
I'm not part of it at all.
I'm not a member of the association.
I'm not.
You're not even challenging the president's appointment at all.
But I think we've missed something.
Okay.
It looks like the Judgment Debt Commission is, of course, financial loss to the state.
Okay. Now let's move on. You were in Talensi. And you were hopeful that you were going to win. Unfortunately, you lost so miserably. The issues of violence. You were a target. You spoke to the media about that. Mr. Woyongo, I want us to move forward.
Yeah.
He says that these, vigilante sort of groups, there will be a consideration to regularize them. And some people, like, what's this?
I'm actually surprised by the whole manner in which the Ministry of Interior and the police have dealt with this matter. Now, there was a newspaper headline, it was a couple of days ago, that government was going to ban, they mentioned what? I saw the Azoka boys, I heard the Bamba boys, and some Bulldog, whatever. Now, first of all, it tells you how poor the police intelligence really is. There's nothing like Bamba boys. And that's for a fact. There's nothing like Bamba boys in existence. When was the last time anybody even heard of a Bamba?
It may have a different name, is that it?
No, but I'm just saying, but this is the police saying that they're going to take an action to ban a group. And the group doesn't exist. So what are we dealing with? Is it really that they've done some work on it, or it's just for propaganda value? And I find it most unfortunate, the statement made by the minister. And I think a lot of the things that happened in Talensi, I will put the blame squarely on the shoulders of the police. Because we have a history in this country of how by-elections are conducted. We have a history. You stop a vehicle, you take guns from the vehicle, and you allow whoever was carrying the guns to go. I heard Kwesi Pratt on this, but I think he made a brilliant point. It is not the gun itself that is dangerous, but the person carrying the gun. So if there was nothing wrong with carrying the gun, why did you take the gun and allow the person to go? I mean, if you're in Talensi, you will see that the space between, I think it's about 300 yards from the MPP office to the NDC office. And if you're looking at flashpoints, these two offices are flashpoints, okay? And it's like you drive through to go to other parts of the town or the district. And for soldiers to be around, because I saw the commotion when it started, and I realized something was wrong, because I just got in there. And I asked Kofi Japan of the MPP to start taking a video of what was happening, because I could see that there was, and we had security forces there. They took no action until a man, two people, took guns out and started firing. And, you know, there were women there. There were people, I mean, who were not armed. Anybody could have gotten hurt. You know, and so I think really, considering the history of by-elections, I think there was a serious security failure
It's interesting that this is supposed to be a small by-election, and you, the politicians, go there, you create the problems, and then you blame the police.
But you see, but that's it. Look,
it's simple. Go vote, join a queue, vote, and go away.
But the police themselves.
And you guys go and fight.
No, if you say, I personally went to Talensi because I gave a promise to the late chairman. I didn't go. I went voluntarily on my own account. I didn't go because MPP sent me. Because he came to my house and said I should help him tell it. We didn't discuss how. But then he died. I was supposed to travel. I said no.
Okay,
so I'm saying that. Now, so about politicians, and I'm saying that I was standing there, I had nothing to do with it, and I almost lost my life. And then you are blaming the police because, look, I think the police themselves. I was part of the police themselves tried to stop an MPP rally taking place because the NDC were also going to hold a rally. You know, so when there's even loss of confidence in the impartiality and professionalism of the police, you have these issues.
Okay,
because
the focus for this moment, we don't have a lot of time, is to look at the aspects, the reactions from the comments by the Interior Minister and the calls, groundswell of calls for him to be removed. Then he says, I will not resign. A statement issued by Occupy Ghana on this also is calling for the abolishing of the vigilante groups. And he says, among others, that the comments by the minister are irresponsible and fuel divisionism in our body politics. His statement, as indicated in the media reports, also smacks of state-sponsored support for such groups and their behaviors. Again, it also talks about the minister actually indirectly endorsing violence and vigilante behavior, which must be stopped. And finally, that officers of the state ought to recognize that they are paid by taxes of the good people of Ghana, and therefore they are expected a certain level of decorum and objective professionalism befitting of their positions is expected.
I agree with that absolutely. First of all, you heard about reports about AK-47. According to police reports, and you should go and find out, the gun was found in the car of a big politician in this country. Okay? Nothing's going to happen. And this is I'm talking about, you have a ministry.
Which politician is this?
I'm not going to mention. You go and find out yourself. Go and find out yourself. The details are there. I even went to the police station to cross-check this myself.
Okay, so
you know, it's up to the, because what is happening?
You say you endorse this. They should be removed.
I am
but let's
listening
move
to
on now
MPP
here.
people.
Yes, let's move on now.
And if you are not careful, people are going to say that, look, if this is the response from the Minister of Interior, then it means we should also prepare. Is that really what you
didn't say that, right?
Now, I didn't say that.
See, Ebi, what he's suggesting now, the comments are that the minister should just be removed because what he said is unbecoming of a minister. He shouldn't have been heard making those statements.
I was in Talensi. He saw me there. He even shouted and called my name out. So he knows I was there.
I know.
Now,
you were at my polling station.
When you are coming from the east of Talensi, that's from Bolega, you have to pass through Woyongo and get into the town. And it is only one road that leads to the town. Yeah. MPP headquarters, party office is by the roadside. You get to the MPP office before you get to the NDC office, which is also by the roadside. What caused this mayhem? It was because there was an allegation, a rumor, that the chairman of the MPP, the first vice chairman, had been shot and was injured or attacked and was hospitalized. That's a rumor. As a result of that,
he and others.
The
fact is that others had actually been injured.
Yes. As a result of that, they barricaded the road. And I'm asking the question: even if Freddie Blay was attacked and hospitalized, is that what you should do? Is that a response?
Where was the police?
To barricade the road. I'm coming. Now, I can tell you, as I sit here, but for the timely intervention of the police, if you are talking about proactiveness, that is to say, they should have been proactive to avert the situation. I can agree. But for the timely intervention of the police, what we saw would have been more serious, would have recorded deaths. So I disagree with him that the police were lackadaisical and did not do their work.
What do you say about the minister's comments? Violence begets violence.
The import of what the minister said can be found in the second statement he made when he was asked, what do you mean by that? What he said was that if you are a peace-loving person and somebody comes to attack you, you can respond. And you are a lawyer.
He made a judgment call that Azoka was attacked.
You are a lawyer.
Was that his job?
You can even kill in self-defense. I think what he couldn't do well was to package that statement for the consumption of the Ghanaian people. But the import of what he said is in the second statement that once you are a peace-loving person and you are attacked, you can respond in like measure in self-defense.
Was it his job to defend Azoka?
Should the Azoka boys and the bulldogs or invisible forces, should they be regularized as security entities?
Indeed, Azoka has come out to state clearly that he has no boys who are engaged in acts of vandalism. He said Azoka...
We have just been told also that there is no Bamba boys.
Good. And Azoka, but we didn't hear Bamba say that. But this one is on record. Azoka himself has said it. That Azoka is his surname and he has no such boys. Now, if we can find...
He has men.
If we can find those boys, I am of the view that we need to disband them. Because see, violence taking place at anywhere does not select who is an NDC man and who is an NPP man. And I think that the violence that we saw in Tongo, I must tell you, was as a result of those of us who came from Accra. The people are peace-loving. They did not cause that. People like Gabi, and to some extent myself, not too much.
You said to some extent.
Caused that thing. And I think that there is the need for the security agencies.
How did that cause violence?
You, those who came from Accra, you did that.
Accra, Tamale, Bolga, add all that. The outsiders.
The outsiders, yes. Gabi is one of them. So I'm saying that...
he is contesting Bolga, so he wants to be clean.
I'm saying that left with the people alone, we wouldn't have had this confusion. But the way we all massed up in that small constituency, that causes. But I think that the police did a yeoman's job.
And there's too much suspicion.
The police did a yeoman's job, he says. But Gabi has a problem with the police.
I disagree.
Don't you find it curious that the police stopped vehicles, searched them, seized guns, but we are not told anybody was arrested?
Well, first of all, if they had not seized the guns, I would have asked, or maybe they seized it to verify whether it was licensed. The mere holding of a gun, in my view, does not amount to the commission of an offense. There's no such offense. But if the gun is not licensed in your name, then that becomes a problem. So there's a possibility that they seize the gun to verify, and of course, if after investigation it comes out that it was not licensed or the license had expired.
Assault rifle.
Yes, it was expired, then an issue will arise. So I won't be surprised if
just mentioning to you, are you as an individual allowed to hold an assault rifle?
Well, I don't know, I don't have expertise in that. But I'm saying that...
You can hold it.
I'm talking about license.
AK-47, license.
If it's licensed.
Oh, I see.
Well, I won't be surprised if subsequently the police will arrest someone whose gun was taken, and it's confirmed that...
But you know what he just said is not correct. You
course.
cannot hold an assault rifle.
It's also possible that there must be further investigation to even confirm whether or not it's an assault rifle.
Okay.
So we are just expecting the police to even cause the arrest of these people if they were not entitled to hold a particular type of gun, whether licensed or not. Of course, it wouldn't be licensed for that person.
Should the minister lose his job because of the statement he made?
Oh, well, Mr. Amaliba has sought to justify it in a way in terms of the law.
I've asked your opinion. Should he lose his job because of what he said?
Oh, well, I mean, in my view, I hold a certain position on matters like that. Let's allow people to speak out.
Stop talking like a lawyer.
No,
should he lose his job, yes or no?
Well, I will leave that decision to him.
Yes or no.
I will leave that decision to him and the one who appointed him. But my point is that I'm happy that people in important positions sometimes come out to express their thoughts, which is really what they are.
Do you feel safe?
I see.
Myself.
After he said that?
Oh, I've made the point this morning elsewhere that I think 2016 we have a big trouble staring at us if nothing is changed. And it's all because of the root cause. What is the root cause?
I don't feel saying him being
Can
minister
I
of interior. They can push him
just
somewhere else,
conclude?
but not
And
minister
the
of
root
interior.
cause is that
Those
when there is
statements are
a change from one person as president to another who affiliates with a different political party, it's as if there's coup d'etat. That is what causes all this.
Yes, what do you say? Occupy Ghana says disband them. There are other groups who say disband these groups and then get their minister sacked.
Well, I'll proceed step by step. My checks confirmed what I heard Akomia, Nana Akomia, and John Budu say on radio and television, to the effect that an AK-47 was retrieved from the car belonging to Kofi Potofi, the national chairman of the ruling NDC. 1. 2, that a gentleman who was in possession of the gun happened to be a staff member of the National Security Council Secretariat. Yes. And 3, that he was authorized to have that gun. He went and signed for it and was detailed to give Kofi Potofi personal security protection relative to the Talensi by-election. These are facts that I have checked with official sources, and I mean national security sources, because one needed to know what
From
exactly.
what you know, is it normal? Party chairman can
No,
access
that's why they
national
said it's a one moment thing, ad hoc.
Okay.
It's not a general thing. But the question that beat my mind was, if so, why did the police retrieve the assault rifle from somebody from the national security who had been authorized to go and do some job? Why did they do that?
I can explain.
The police officer I heard on Asampa.
So you had a fact that you kept quiet.
Hold on, please.
I heard the
Please,
police.
Koku did not
I heard the
intervene.
police officer
Fear when you
on
speak.
Kaba's program explaining that they had a certain coordination that only authorized persons will carry guns. It's not all policemen who are allowed even to carry guns. Only some selected policemen. But I was wondering how come that was not communicated. That this gentleman went for a gun, that's AK-47, signed it, all right, and it was not known to the operational commander on the scene that this gentleman was coming with Potofi to offer this service to Potofi.
Interesting.
That lack of coordination and gap in communication.
Should those vigilante groups be disbanded?
We have the freedom to associate and to assemble and to move. So we have to be very careful how we go about it.
Including
if the
for
conduct,
groups like this.
no wait, if the conduct of a group that is free to associate, to assembly and to move violates the law, you use the law to deal with that conduct.
Thank you very much.
That is irregular and
Should the
illegal.
minister go?
Really, I won't jump for that.
All right.
Yes. But the last one, please, the last
we are
one.
running
He said
out of time.
self-defense. Huh?
Yes.
When somebody in private told people that get ready, resist violence, and that all die,
All
be
die,
die,
be die.
what did we say?
No,
Okay,
he
I
called for
think
people to be attacked.
both.
Who
both-
said?
He called
Don't
for-
waste, don't
both
stop
cannot
it.
be
It was not in
justified. Let us not
self-defense.
get there.
Stop
But
it.
he called for people to be attacked.
Did you
Both
hear
cannot
that?
be justified.
Did
Let's
you
go on.
hear that?
He said Kokuba-
You see your
He said
hypocrisy.
Gentlemen, sorry.
You're not even ready to be consistent.
Sorry.
It is
Look,
true
because
that
the
violence
fight.
begets violence. That is true.
Yamusa Nkumbo
But it is
says,
who is
Mr.
saying it and at what point in
Makuyono
time.
must
So in
resign
Nana
for his
Akufo's case, he
violence
was
against
calling for
violence
people
comments.
to
Such
get
a
into
comment
action and fight.
should have come from a serial caller and not an honorable minister. Wasa in Washington says, the happening at Talensi reminds me of my tears on that fateful day when the election petition verdict was delivered. I shed tears not just because my party was denied the obvious, but because of what awaits my beloved Ghana in 2016. Okay, I'm sorry I'm not able to continue from that point. My guest on the show have been Abdul Malik Kweku Bako, editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. Abraham Amaliba is member of the NDC legal team. Gabi Asarachiri Dako is investment consultant and policy and political risk analyst. And Yao Opong is with the Central University College, where he lectures law. I'm Samson Anyanini. Thank you very much. My outfit, as always, is provided for by Latida, and you see the numbers on your screen. Please write them and get in touch with them, and they will make you look sharp. Don't forget, the show is brought to you by Bank of Africa, and they are as strong as a group and as close as a partner. Have a good afternoon. The news is up next, and the show is repeated at 9:30 on this platform.